Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll unpack the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Scott Robson, the founder of Scott Robson Coaching, where he helps individuals transform their mindset, unlock their potential, and step into their best lives. Scott's mission is to inspire people to overcome limitations and create lasting change. Scott, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for joining me. So with all of my guests, I like to start at the beginning of their journey. So talk me back to maybe what you was doing before you started up the company, and then from there, what prompted you to get into coaching?
Sure, absolutely. It's probably better if I jump a little bit further back just to kind of give context as to what I actually do and why I've come to the coaching world. I've had what I guess a lot of people call a squiggly career. Did the psychology degree because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I then spent time in Orlando working for the Walt Disney Company. And actually that's where my love of hospitality started. And actually I guess they do things to such finesse, but it's not really luxury, which I'll come to in just a moment. So I came back to the UK, traveled to London. I'm originally from North Wales, so moved to London and had these different jobs. I worked in investment banking for a while for Goldman Sachs, which is an interesting place to be. And then I moved into luxury hospitality about 7-8 years ago. And this is really where things started to form for the passions and the love that I have. I used to work for Rosewood, which is a luxury hotel company. I was responsible for their onboarding programs. So I was pretty much every week delivering some sort of training, some soft skills and developing people. And that's really where I found this fire, found this calling. The pandemic hit as it hit a lot of us, and unfortunately Rosewood had to make a few difficult decisions. I was one of them, so took a little 6 months out, but then joined the Dorchester Collection, and really I felt that my career completely changed. What's unique about the academy that I was working in is we were doing training for luxury and aspirational brands. So basically they would say, Dorchester, what do you know and how can you help us be better with our hospitality? Now, the reason why that's so important is because it really elevated what I considered real customer service, real hospitality, and actually the service of others. When I was with the academy, I also went through my qualification to become a coach. So this was something where you jump through certain hoops, you learn all the basics of coaching. It was about an 18-month program. And then at the end of it, I got myself my accreditation because coaching has a bit of a bad rap. People kind of print off a certificate off online and they tend to say, that's it, I'm now a life coach. So I wanted to be regulated and to show and to prove to people that I have that kind of credibility. Since then, I've racked up about 400 hours of coaching, working with many different people within Dorchester Collection, but also some of the clients that we used to interact with. So I've worked with general managers of hotels, leaders in sales, and different aspirational companies as well. Why all that's important is last year I then hit burnout. So talk about the overachiever and the work that I started to move into. So I took some time out and really started to reassess where I wanted to go with my life. And one thing that was really important is I didn't want to give up what I do. I absolutely love standing in front of people. I love to see people develop. I love those like light bulb moments.
Yeah.
However, and also I love coaching, that one-on-one personal development where I can really give someone my full attention. The difference is I wanted to do it on my own time. And I guess when you work in a salaried role and you're full time, all your time is given and dedicated to that company. And don't get me wrong, I loved my whole time and I had some incredible experiences, but I really wanted to step away and to start to build my own company. It had been in the works for about 18 months at this point already. However, it was really slow to kick off because, of course, my dedication was to Dorchester Collection.
Yeah. And
So
hospitality is pretty draining in general. So
yes, it's
continue.
training. Then you add luxury, which is like now you put your expectations even higher. And we're talking about
Yeah.
that, these 1%
I-
changes. And we'd have leadership training and stuff to really help those leaders think differently about their teams as
Mm.
well. And I learned so much and I loved it, but I really, like I said, wanted to move into my own and have that control over my own time. Beginning of this year, I spoke with my previous boss and I said, look, I don't want to leave the company. However, I would love to still have some sort of partnership, but I do feel I need to step away. So April this year, quite recently, is I went full cold turkey, went all by myself and started to work on my own business.
Love it. And how has it been so far, that step onto entrepreneurship all on your own? Because it can
Uh,
be daunting. It's a big change. As much as we're saying other aspects are burning out as well, it's a tough one jumping into entrepreneurship.
It's really interesting. So there's two things on that. Yeah, the burnout part itself, it's on the rise anyway. I found a statistic which I use in some of my trainings anyway, is it's risen by 12% over the last 2 years, up to 63% people are reporting that they're having signs of burnout. So it's going up, it's not going down anytime soon. And that's really where the work is that I'm working in to try and help people manage their energy and rebalance how they see themselves, whether they're a leader or whether they are an aspirational leader or whatever it's going to be. But some of the learnings I've had, the most interesting one, and I guess anybody who's watching this maybe is starting out or considering starting out, my biggest advice would be take that first month or two kindly, because when you go from, you always work for a company and therefore you are the representative of that brand. It is a well-established brand. So I am Scott Robson, I am a representative of Dorchester Collection Academy. When you're
Yeah.
yourself, nobody knows who you are. So who do you speak to? And they say if you talk to everyone, you're valuable to no one. So I really had to find my niche. I really had to find what it is that I'm serving and who I'm serving and what do I stand for. So I almost went back to square one again, being like, who are these people? Who do I want to be
Yeah.
reaching out to? And who can I add value to as well?
Yeah, definitely. So who are those people? So the listeners can have more ton context. Who would you say is your ideal customer? And then what services it is that you work and provide to them?
Absolutely. So what I want to do, and I think I want to bring in I want to bring everything in because I don't take myself seriously, hence the Disney side of me. I'm very fun about all that.
Okay.
But at the same time, I know that there are pressures that we feel, and I've felt that within the luxury world. So I want to bring the lightheartedness and humor to to the high achievers, the aspirational people as well. I'm also part of the LGBTQ community. So for me, I really want to give back to that too. So if you ask what my ideal client is, it's actually, I would call them premium gay clients. And what I mean by that are those because we fit into these roles where they're usually much more isolating. So you'll find them as lawyers, bankers, any role where they can work their way up. They don't have the same pressures as heterosexual couples where they feel they have to have their kids and they're settling down. So you'll find they continue rising. And also, if they're in a position where they're trying to hide their sexuality, they tend to put themselves in those isolated roles and therefore move into more senior roles. Just because they've done that and they're highly successful doesn't mean they are without the pressures that everybody else feels. So what I
Mhm.
want to do is I work with them and the experiences I want to create for them and that I do create for them is a really bespoke, tailored experience, which is bringing on all of my luxury side, having fun along the way to ensure that they don't feel that this is a really serious conversation, but at the same time, really setting achievable goals that helps them align and rebalance themselves so they can sustain that energy for longer.
Love it. And then how do you typically go about acquiring your customers? It must, because this is, as you say, finding your niche and finding your center, and it sounds incredible. You're merging your personalities into your work, which is beautiful to see. So how are you going about getting these people and building a business for yourself?
It's interesting because the luxury world, we could have how long we got? We could have a whole hour
I
talking just
know.
about luxury. One of the key things, and again, if anybody is listening who is thinking that they want that more premium accessibility, is they don't want mass market. They don't want this is what everybody's got. They don't want a group coaching. And whilst I do offer, because I want to support the community in general, I have got workshops that I run literally for £8, which is like an introduction. They do
Wow.
my self-assessment workshop, which basically I've developed my own self-assessment, which helps you identify what are some of your ruling protective patterns, which I can talk about in a moment. But the lowest is that, but actually we're talking thousands when it talks about a truly premium experience. Now, the reason why I do that is those are really just to help the community and keep things going, and it's my love of training. But when it comes to your premium clients, how I access them is it's much more nuanced. You can't just put out a social media post and hope that these premium clients will see it. What they want is either through recommendations. My network has been hugely supportive for that, nurturing relationships and recognizing as well that in order to receive or to connect with that person, you can't go, great, we've had one meeting. I assume we're going to sign a big deal. Anybody
Mm.
who parts with that kind of money, they're very smart, but also they know that trust is one of the most important things. And we know that too when we make purchases. However, a brand like, let's say, Apple or Samsung or Google, whoever you're with, have already built that through the loyalty over the years. They can offer new phones and you'll want them. When it is a bespoke, tailored kind of luxury experience, they don't know who you are. So therefore, until you've been recommended to other people, which again, for my type of clients will be recommendations in the future, initially acquiring them, it's about spending that time with them, nurturing that relationship, and really showing that there is value in investing in me, but also in themselves.
Yeah, so a lot, as you say, a lot longer of a process just to build that rapport before you even start working with them and then build up to the point where you're gonna work with them as a client. So
Yeah. And
No, please go ahead.
No, all I was going to say, and the other thing is, it's not a product. I don't go, would you like this? It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. It's a crystal, cut crystal glass or whatever. It's like a massage. You don't really know the benefits until you've gone through it. So if you
Mm.
say coaching, it's this phenomenon that's, I've literally had it once. I once coached the restaurant manager of a three-star Michelin restaurant. And I said to her, I said, tell me what you know about coaching. And she said, okay, I don't really know, but you take someone, there's this weird magic that happens, and then there's something different at the end. I was like, I call myself a magician. Let's go for it. Why not? And that's literally how she described it. She's like, there's this magic that happens. You take them from where they were, and now you change their behavior. And I was like, sure. So it's hard to really describe what that looks like in a tangible thing. So you really have to build it up to be like, you're buying the person, you're investing in me as your coach, and I will take you along that journey.
Yeah, 100%. Coach, it almost feels like a new word, but it's not because people have been coaching for years, but it's overtaken consulting. It's very much overtaking now therapy. And like
Yes.
my personal belief with coaching is it's way better than therapy because it does. It's this weird magic that happens, but it makes you a better person at the end of it. But
Yeah.
you don't know you're going through it until you've gone through it. It's like my background is pretty big in sports. So we did a lot of coaching growing up because I got coached a lot. But you don't really know that your things are happening to you until one day you sit there and goes, oh, I know how to do that now.
Yeah.
And it is a weird little like Disney magic that happens in the middle.
I love that. We're connecting
Yeah,
everything together now.
you
It's
put
all
it
these little
together.
spider webs.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think of a Disney magician, but Harry Potter was the only thing that comes to
I know,
mind.
same. I was like, oh God, who is this? Yeah, exactly. Sorcerer Mickey. There you go. We'll go with him.
Love it. In Fantasia, yeah, that is the
Yeah.
perfect one. Love
I'll get
it.
myself a blue hat.
Yeah. So walk me through that sales cycle a little bit more. Is that you that is conducting and building these relationships, or do you have a team that are helping you do that as well at the moment?
No, so as I'm starting out, it's really interesting because I've I think I'm making smart choices. I hope I'm making smart choices. However, maybe there are still learnings along the way. So when I say that is I don't do well with figures. I'm not very good with money. I'm good with money, sorry. I'm not good with figures as an accounting. So I have an accountant which I've invested money into. I've also, like I said, social media for me takes a long time, and I'll be honest, I've wanted to do it for 12 months. Have I posted a single thing? No. Have I now finally got someone who cracks the whip and says, Scott, record this video, do this, here's a voiceover,
Yeah.
do whatever. I now have that. And also she edits fantastically. I look at the stuff, I'm so impressed. So for me, I've worked out what my limitations are. And again, advice to someone would be work out what you're good at and work out what you're not good at and pass that on to other people. However, right now, sourcing people, I think because I'm the product, I'm the brand, I think people
Yeah.
need to get to know me. As much as I would love in the future, for you look at the Brene Browns, the Simon Sinek's, those who've built this incredible brand, they
Mm.
have the teams of people now who go, you know this person, right? You know who Brene Brown is. If you want to work with her, she's X amount. I look forward to getting to that stage one day, but let's take a couple more years yet. So right now, I'm the one who's going through each process and how I acquire my clients.
Nice. And how are you finding that part of it as well? Drawing on experience you've had from the past, or is it completely new for you?
It's new because I don't have a background in sales. That
Yeah.
being said, this again was what luxury has taught me is people don't want to be sold to, at least not at that level. I think the minute that a luxury or premium client sniffs that you're trying to offer something, they pull back and they're like, I'm okay, I can get that anyway. It really is about adding value before you've even
Yeah.
started talking about what that is. And you're almost creating a need. And that's what I like about my assessment. It creates a need to say, oh my goodness, my ruling pattern is perfectionism. How do I get that back into alignment? They can then work with me. So it's the same when I have conversations with them is I listen to what they say. I use kind of coaching techniques in the sense that I listen well and I listen to what their struggles are. I then repeat back to them like, so this is what I hear you're coming through. What would it be like to, how much does this cost you at the moment? Because it maybe is quite a financial burden that they are this type of person.
Yeah.
And from that, then we build this up. And I actually give some advice there and then because like I said, they're ultimately investing in something worthwhile. And like I said, I'm not the typical like range that you'd be going for if you were looking for a coach. Because of that, I've got to show value early on and I've got to show it in
Yeah.
different ways. And only then, I haven't seen the life cycle yet, but from my previous experience working in Dorchester Collection, someone invests usually between 6 to 12 or even 18 months later once you've
Mm.
built that relationship. So for me, nurturing these relationships right now, I've got a couple that have come through that I've really felt that I've nurtured that relationship, and that has been for a while. But the newer ones, I feel like it's just that very beginning introduction. But like I said, and that will speed up eventually when they'll do fast tracks and they'll say, we love you, Scott. I've got someone else who can join you, and they're already bought in. Think about recommendations. If I was to recommend you a friend of mine, you're more likely to take them if you trust me, if we're friends, than if you'd go out and then find someone yourself.
Definitely. So the referral cycle is a great one to have at the start of the business. And then as you're saying, once they triple in, so you've already got the connections you're building that may not come for the next 18 months, as you mentioned. But
Mm.
you might have a couple clients by then, and in 18 months' time, the people that you're talking to now and starting them forward now will be ready to roll, and the
Yeah.
cycle kind of slowly moves around with you. It's when you come to scale, that's will be the next step. As you say, it's building rapport on a next level with people you don't necessarily know. That will be the
Mm.
challenge for the future. So
Yes.
let's move on to that. So, what do the next 12 months look like? Have you got any specific targets you're working towards or goals you're looking to achieve?
I do, and I think maybe if I say it on a recording, it might actually commit me even more. I've started to write a book. I don't know if you've ever read The Alchemist or familiar with it, but
I
yeah, it's a
don't know.
fantastic book. And what I love is it's a learning without being preachy. I think there's enough
Mm,
self-help books out there that I think my what I want to talk about might get lost. So I want to take people through the journey of a particular character, a protagonist, and the learnings they've had, because they're all not all of them, but some of them are related to things I've gone through. So they're very real,
mm.
they're typical things. So a book I would love to launch, I'm hoping by next year, ideally during Pride Month, but that does only give me about 8 to 10 months. So maybe you need a little bit longer, but we'll see. A little bit and often. So I'd love to do that. I'd like to grow my business, but I want it to be organic. I don't want What's been really good so far is I have had an intake, but I haven't had anything that has been too overwhelming. If I suddenly had 50 people turning up onto a workshop and demanding that they want this and come and work with that, it would be too much. So I really do believe that slowly scaling up now, getting a couple of my clients from 2 or 3 to 5 or 6, I think not only does that bring in revenue, but also that brings in better connections and stuff. But I think it will also help me manage my energy that I save as a cap. I can only deal with maximum we'll take is 8 over the next 6 months, or I'll deal with whatever because I want them as well because there'll be a demand on my time from them because they need that more readily accessibility. Maybe they need to have a conversation with me at 11 o'clock at night. And I want to
Yeah.
be able to give that. So I can't do that to 8 or 10 people. If each of them are like, right, Scott, I'm up at 6 a.m. I'll see you then after speaking to someone else at 11 p.m. last night and stuff.
Again, one of the challenges that will pop up will be the side of fulfillment. As you say, bring on more clients, start working with more people. Your time will get less and less. That will be the
Yeah,
next jump.
exactly.
The next pivot will happen there, and you'll have to figure through it. So apart from your time, what would you say is the biggest challenge in making all this happen at the moment?
It's that I guess I'm still a work in progress as well. So if I
Yeah.
take it from the human element, whilst these people are coming to me with their challenges, I'm not without my own. So I think sometimes I see myself mirroring some of the behaviors that they're feeling, even though we're leagues apart. They might be overseeing an entire company, but I do sometimes see myself in some of those areas. So I find that challenging from a coaching perspective. From a business perspective, I don't know, I think always wanted to it's second guessing the value I add.
Mm.
And I do believe I'm adding value. I believe that the type of coaching I'm doing is more of an experience, and that's why I don't do like the hourly rate. It's like the value added rate versus instead.
Yeah.
So they get 3 to 6 months based on their time that they have and their investments. They get the usual 90-minute sessions with me, which by the way, I take them outdoors as well. So I love your little plants on either side. I do like my nature coach. I have this next to me. It's a gorgeous terrarium. Don't know if you can see it,
Love
but I have
it.
this next to
Yeah,
me as
yeah,
well. So
yeah.
bring a bit of nature inside as well. But it's
It's so
about,
important.
yeah,
Having that bit
absolutely. So
inside, so important.
yeah, and that's why I think I'm different as well. Is not only do I have these particular, because it sounds like Liam Neeson, I have this particular set of skills, but I also have a different approach, and it's more of an organic one. And sometimes people don't take it seriously, but because it's not luxury, it's not come and meet me at the Dorchester Hotel. We'll have a nice coaching session. It's meet me outside in the park. We're going to go for a walk.
Yeah, but it's real.
It's
It's
real and it's so beneficial. And actually, of all the clients that I work with, I always give it as an option. It's not a definitive, I only work outside, but it's, I would say 9.5, 9.8 out of 10 people I say, do you want to work outside? They're like, yes. I'm
yeah,
like, "You sure we don't have to? No, I want to. It's okay. And it's because we're stuck in boxes all day.
yeah.
It's literally, no matter where we are, or we're on screen. So to walk side by side, and I've had some crazy, like torrential rain and we've been outside for 90 minutes. I've had heat where we're sweating and shirts stuck to our back outside. Whether you're in the snow, whether it's windy, they still
Love
want to
it.
go outside because they know there is so much benefit to be outside and it gives them a break. So
Mm.
they actually come back much more revitalized for the afternoon as well as solving a problem. It's like twofold.
Yeah, no, it is great. And being outside just brings a whole nother energy to people. It's a different level of, as you say, everyone's in boxes, everyone's in their own little screen and online bubble.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than going for a walk and chatting somebody's ear off. And I feel like you must open up people way more in that kind of environment anyway, in terms of
Yes.
building a connection and being with them and present. Um,
Exactly. Like again, another hour I could give you where I could just tell you about I actually ran a program the other day purely on, I called it Nature Intelligence, the wild side of coaching. And it's literally, I hit them with facts of the benefits, not just to you, but to your coachee, to sustainable things as well. How many steps you get in and stuff. Like a 90-minute session gets you 10,000 steps. So you get your
yeah.
step counts. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, as you say, but bringing it all together, using up your time wisely. It's what it is. It's
Exactly.
all about evolution of humanity, making sure
Exactly.
we're good people. So, Scott, I've got one last question for you before you sign out. So, if you could go back to a younger self, maybe Scott, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when a lot of stuff was going on, just pre-burnout,
Mm.
and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice now that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, that's right. You've ended on a tough one. Tough because it's emotional as well. I think what I'm doing now, I'm going to say should, but that's the wrong word. I would have liked to have done 3 years ago. I felt ready. I felt maybe not three, maybe 2 years ago. I felt my journey into Dorchester really led me in this new trajectory. I felt so much more
Mm,
confident. I got my coaching qualification, so I felt so much more like I could offer so much more. What stopped me is actually what I'm coaching people on, which is the things that stop us. And I've read this amazing book by Brene Brown called The Gifts of Imperfection. Being a recovering perfectionist, she talked about life paralysis, and I've never had to put a book down. I was reading it on my commute. I read it. My heart started racing. I was like, I'll read you tomorrow. And it's because what she talks about is with perfection, it prevents us from doing so much. And it
yes.
stops us. It's like a barrier because we're so scared of failure. We're so scared of getting something wrong and feeling worthless and everything that we stop. And actually, like I said, I should by now I would have had hundreds of posts on my Instagram. I would have maybe had some more followers. I would have already started my business successfully 2 years ago had I had that confidence to fail. If I could say anything, I would just say just start. Another thing
Yeah.
is if I had to give advice to someone is small progress is progress. And I think I could tell myself that too, which is just start and just do something small. You'll feel like you're moving forward than holding and hiding away.
Yeah. And sometimes the biggest form of progression is just starting.
Oh God, absolutely. Put that first foot in front of the other. Yeah.
Literally. As Nike say, just do it. Just jump
And
in.
can I say something as well? The part that annoyed me the most is nobody cares. I was like,
Nobody
okay, here
cares.
goes like my first ever LinkedIn post, click. And I was like, oh wow. And then nothing for an hour. I was like,
Yeah.
why have I just been sweating, finger over the buzzer like this, or launching my business and posting like nobody cares as much as you do. And that's
Yeah.
the biggest takeaway as well. But that's probably the advice I tell myself is nobody cares. Stay in your lane, do what you've got to do. And it's not as big a deal as you think. But actually taking that leap off a cliff is actually the leap off a pavement, I would say.
Yeah. We build it way up in our head. Everyone's guilty of the same thing and we all build it up too much in our own
Yeah.
heads. And we've all been in that place. Even posting like personal posts on Instagram and you're like 4 hours later and you're still not pressed send because you're so embarrassed about what you're sending.
You're trying to finesse it. Like, let me just
Yeah.
remove
It
this
needs
and
to
do
be
that.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you see some people do it and it's literally like a picture and you're like,
Yeah.
that.
And you pass it and you're like, and that's all that you got the light that you wanted, but it's not what oh, I know. And that's why my slogan as well, because I really see my coaching as like a partnership, is it's going it
Yeah.
alone doesn't have to be lonely. And I feel everywhere, like having my social media manager, having my accountant, having friends and family and colleagues and cheerleaders, they are the people who've helped me go it alone. So I want to be that person with them, stood next to them and helping them make these big changes in their lives, but not
Love
doing
it.
it by themselves. Once you get vulnerable, it can feel really lonely. So to
Yeah.
have me there at a call if they want to call me at whatever time or voice note me, like we're on the age of all sorts of digital technology now. They can send me a little WhatsApp or whatever. So any of that I think is really what I want to offer people as well, so that they feel that they're not alone in what they want to do next.
Amazing, love it. And with that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Scott, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can people reach out to work with you and connect if they'd like to do?
Yeah, so everything is under my handle that I have. So I'm on Instagram and TikTok, but also my website. It's the Scott Robson. And as I explained to you before, it's because Scott Robson was taken, so I had to pick another word. It sounds a bit pretentious, so sorry if anyone's listening and thinks I'm a bit of a... It's not. It is purely because it was taken. So it's the Scott Robson, and you'll find it everywhere. It's thescottrobson.com, and then if you at it, you'll see the same.
Amazing. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via way of listening to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team. and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.